Many times I procrastinate from starting because I know that I don't have time to finish. See, starting beats procrastination. And this is what feeds the momentum. I don't have to ever start over if I never quit. And I won't always have time as much as I'd love to, but I used to get so frustrated because, oh man, I got to finish this. And I would put my health on the sidelines and say, oh, I got to finish this. There was always justification. I would be late for work because I got to finish this, like all these kind of different things. I won't always have time to finish in one sitting, but I can start in one sitting. That's what's beautiful about it. So the early 30 is important because you start the first thing in the morning. Okay. It's that first 30 minutes in the morning where you come first. So you get the ball rolling, and sometimes you finish, other times you don't. But what happens is you get the consistency going, you get the momentum flowing, and then you just add to it along the way. Kind of like when my dad loves to make homemade bread. And so he's got this starter kit that he keeps in his fridge, and it's this jar of yeast. I don't know, it looks kind of nasty, but anyway, it's this jar of yeast that he keeps in the refrigerator. So when he wants to start a new loaf of bread, he reaches to the back of the refrigerator. He puts that yeast, I guess, with the dough. I don't really know how that shit works, but all of a sudden it's that starter kit for him, and it's a lot easier to make bread that way. That's what it is for you. So the early 30 is like that baking a loaf of bread of success. It's where you're actually adding, you've already got a little starter going, that early 30, and then you just add to it along the way. The early 30 is important because you start first thing in the morning when your mind is most fresh. And just like you don't like eating leftovers after a couple of days, your life doesn't like feeding on leftovers day after day, month after month. This is why I say you come first. And so the freshest version that you have is that early 30. It's that first thing in the morning. Getting the writing down. This is what's so key for you, man. Because number one, you hear me preach it all the time. This is what's going to empty your mind. It's kind of like cleaning out storage on your phone. You finally got to get around to it. Like I'm having trouble on my big Mac computer because I've downloaded so much stuff, and I said, oh, I'm going to get around to it and clean out the files till finally my system crashed and said, no more memory. I can't do anything else. That's what happens in your life. You keep filling up, saying, oh, one day I'm going to deal with these things. Oh, one day I'm going to clean this storage out. And then finally, you just snap. Writing is what will prevent that occurrence from happening. And so what you're doing is you're emptying out your mind. You're clearing out those things, the wins, the losses, the lessons, the conversations, the aha moments, anything. You just write it down and you write about it. I have a challenge every single day, write at least one page. When I first started, that was tough. Now it's tough to just keep it at one page. Many times I'm 2 and 3 pages on. But write these things down, man. If you're in a creative field, this will especially be helpful for you. But don't sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to write because I'm not in the creative field. You are in the creative bit. Your life is creative. This is what helps flex that curiosity, that creativity muscle, is writing these things down. Because the beautiful thing about writing is you have to think. You have to contextualize it. You have to write it. You shouldn't type it because you're going to self-censor. So writing is that psychoneural connection that you have, and it causes you to think, pick up the pen, look around, talk it out, write it down. That's how important writing is. So write about anything, man. Like I said, the wins, the losses, the aha moments, write it, write it, write it. For me, for the early 30, because I have the podcast, what I'll do is I'll start on an episode, and then sometimes I'll just add to it as the day progresses. Sometimes I'll just go back to it many days later if I can't get it done all at once. Many times I don't. But see, it's easier to pick it up along the way. Once you start with the early 30, and all you got to do is add to it, this is what makes it so much easier because you just keep it going. You've already overcome that initial wave of resistance, because think about resistance. Many times you don't get started because why? Oh, I don't have time to finish. But if you just get started and you just roll with it, and then you say, up, time's up. Many times when you walk away from it and you go out into society, then you're going to have something that you just wrote about and you're so keen and you're so clued in that something is going to pop up along the way and you're going to be like, oh, I can add to this. And because your work was not done, but it was started, you just add to it along the way. See how helpful that is, man? This is the benefits of that early 30. You're going to find that when you start with this early 30, this is what's going to make you more purposeful. And you're not going to sleepwalk through your day because you started with writing. You started putting yourself first. You started with this thing and now you got your juices flowing. Think about how many people just come into work just brain dead. When you're brain dead, you're not receptive to what's going on during the day. But when you sit there and you just take 30 minutes, man, early 30, call it early 10, early 15, whatever. Early 30 for me, I segment, I put my timer on my Fitbit and I go 30 minutes. When the time is up, I walk away from it. Sometimes, like this morning, I had time to continue to add to it. Good. So I just keep writing. That's what's beautiful about that. Writing that thing is going to make you more perceptive. It's going to make your day more colorful from there. Now, many people hit me up and say, I don't know what to write about. I get up in the mornings and I don't know what to write. Here is something that will really help you. Throughout the day, download a voice recording app to your phone. Most phones come with it, but go to your app store, just download the free version. And whenever an idea, an aha moment, a great conversation, a passage from a book, a quote, a tweet, a post, whatever, when something triggers you, capture it right then and there. What's important about capturing it on a voice memo app is number one, you capture the moment right then and there because you're going to forget about it 5 minutes later. How many times have you said, oh, as soon as I get to this stop, I'm going to write it down. And then you get there and you're like, what was I thinking about? So capture it in the moment. Dude, I'll be riding down the road. I'll be jogging. I'll be working out. I come up with ideas. I capture it right then and there. What's important also is you capture not only the thought, but you capture the emotions around the thought. I listened to one today from April of 2021. I have like 2,000 messages. I listened to one from April of 2021 and I heard the background and I remember right then and there where I was. So you can capture the emotion and kind of spitball because sometimes when you just make little 3-word notes to yourself on those things, then when you go back to it later and you just wrote it and that was it, you're like, I don't really know where I was going with that. But if you capture it on your voice memo app and all the emotion and a little context to that, then here's what's key. Then you can come back around in the mornings when you're freshest and you need something to write about, dude, I'll go through 2,000 of these. I'll just like Russian roulette, man. I'll just until I find one that really sticks to my soul. And I say, that's what I'm going with today. You can label these voice memo apps. So you label it with something that it's a trigger word, momentum, converting sales, customer service, the name of a book, Ray Dalio's principles. Label it whatever you want to. So that way, it's got a search bar at the top. So when you want to look up something, you type in RAY for Ray Dalio, and anything you ever wrote about Ray Dalio is going to be right there. And so you may have 5 different, like I'll type in momentum. I have a lot of different things on momentum. I'll have 15 or 20 topics of momentum to choose from, and that'll give me something to rock with. What makes it even interesting too is, say, for instance, if you capture a thought from a book and you label the book, then when you're out at dinner, you're sharing thoughts with friends, you're like, I'm trying to think of it. You can look it up, go to your search bar, type in the book title, and you'll be able to listen back to anything. Like you go to the bathroom, you come back, or say they brought up a book, you're like, man, it's been a minute since I listened to that book or read that book. Go to the bathroom real quick, capture some of your notes that you left on your voice memo app. You come back and it's fresh and you're like, oh my God, this guy's so smart. It's the hacks. This will give you, man, if you do this throughout the day, I try to make it a point to capture anything and everything I can. I try to capture something every day. Many times I do, many times it's 5 or 6 things, but that way I can capture the emotions. It's labeled, and I'm never just waking up with dry powder trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to talk about or think about today. I actually have some starters like that yeast itself. Here's something I learned along the way too. When you start recording, practice your cadence. As you're speaking into the microphone, nobody's around, you're recording the idea, but try to stop and not say, like, those kind of different things, you know? So as you're doing that, make it a conscious effort to be clear with what you're saying and concise. And as you do that, you'll be less likely to do the ums and ahs. And this is a way that I found that I actually speak better. And so when I'm working with customers, when I'm on live, when I'm recording a podcast, I don't have to edit out the ums and the knows quite as often because I've practiced so much recording to my voice memo app that many times I've eliminated those things, because a lot of times it's just nerves or you're just trying to link one thought to the next. But if you start practicing the spaces in between the thoughts, if you just hold the space, then you connect to the next thought and you rock on from there. All right. So that's the early 30. That's what I use. Hopefully this helps you. You may not have time to finish, but you always got time to start. All right. Let's get out of here. Keep it simple. Keep it moving. Never settle. Keep building the momentum. Stay tough. Peace.